On a very light note, I was enjoying that, that music score in the background. Thank you all very much for joining us for today's edition of AFCON Today, which is live on Joy News and Joy Prime. Today, we're focusing on issues that have come up in the last 24 hours. And of course, we'll be doing some massive analysis on it as well. We are your number one in terms of building up to the Africa Cup of Nations. Of course, today we'll take a look at the final, farewell dinner and that element of Ghana's participation in the days leading up to the, the event. And does it really matter? And, does coincidence come in? Because similar events have been held in the past and it's not really gone too well at international tournaments. Well, those are for those who believe in occurrences and all those issues of coincidence and all of that. We'll also be taking a look at what's happening in the Gambia. The Gambia is a nation fixed inside Senegal in terms of the geography of it. Now, the Gambia have a very interesting, situation at hand that players have played in the qualification series. They were promised some bonuses, and these bonuses have not been paid. So they're holding the Gambian FA to ransom, and they will not train and will not, by extension, and playing for Côte d'Ivoire. So this is the situation, in the Gambia. And of course, they are in the same group with neighboring Senegal, who are the defending champions of the competition, and the giants, Cameroon as well. So what will happen to the small nation in West Africa? Are they going to rescind their decision? And what will the implications be? And what is the historic precedence as well with other nations and how these matters have been resolved? All of these and more are coming up here as we look ahead and continue the countdown to AFCON 2023 happening in Côte d'Ivoire. My name is Nathaniel Atto, and I'll be your host this afternoon. As always, I'm here with a strong team made of Fento Tahiru Fento of Joy Prime and also the man Stone. Well, we'll be getting into the conversations very, very shortly. But once again, you're all welcome to the show. Gentlemen, thank you very much for your time. Good to see you again.
Always, man. How are you?
Been good.
It's good to be here once again.
Great time. Great stuff there. Great stuff. I'm sure that Fento was trying to, do some calculations of the figures. I have not been too updated on the Dalasi and its strength compared to the dollar. I haven't been to the Gambia in a very long time, mind you. Back in 2007, 2007 was my last visit. So, yeah. So big shouts to all of our friends who are watching us from, Serekunda, Bakau, and other parts of Banjul. So
we have quite a lot of viewers.
Sure.
From the Gambia, huh?
So we would be looking at all of that. Do remember that at a certain time, the Gambia also came in for Ghanaian expertise and were able to dominate in the under-17 space. But now the focus is on their senior national team and whether or not the players are going to rescind their decision. But the president of Ghana has wished the team well. They've been hosted to a dinner. On the flip side, there are those who feel that these things should be done when the team has gone there and has been achieved. But on the psychological end as well, it has something to do. I mean, Stoneboy, the multiple award-winning international act, went to perform for the players. He's someone who has relationships with some of the players, Kudus Mohammed being one of them.
Yeah, absolutely. So basically, by way of updates, Team Ghana should be arriving in Abidjan as we speak. They left for Côte d'Ivoire earlier this morning, and it's just a short 45-minute flight.
Very annoying, by the way.
Yeah.
It's just like Accra and Lagos,
Exactly.
Just so that the aircraft takes off, you try to...
Before you even settle down properly, it's descending.
Yeah.
And the journey was made shorter because they left from Kumasi straight. So, Kumasi is even closer to Abidjan. So that must have taken about 30 minutes or so. So they should be in Côte d'Ivoire as we speak. The picture you see was the players, of course, in the dinner with the president, the sports minister also there. Now, that is the battle flag around Andre Ayew, the captain of the team, which was handed to him by the president. And then he urged them to go and make the country proud. That's the head coach, Chris Hughton, and his assistant, Stoneboy and Atizigi. Obviously, Stoneboy performed to the players, good friends with Mohamed Kudus. And you see the picture with the FA president, the sports minister as well. So it was a very closed-door dinner. The media was not invited to it. It's almost as if that we don't have stomachs, we don't like good food, or we don't like fine dining. But yeah, the media was not invited at all. But ultimately, the president urged them to go out there and make the country proud. He handed Andre Ayew that battle flag that you see wrapped around his neck. And it's significant because, you know, even similar gestures are made all around. Senegal, I'm sure we'll get to them, also set off. They met Macky Sall, the president, as well before they left. The Gambia did the same thing. They met the vice president. Before that training session, they were supposed to hold to bid a farewell to the fans before all the issues that we'll get into a little later. Now, what is significant about this particular meeting was that it's the first time the president has gone anywhere else apart from just being here in Accra to meet the team in Kumasi. So it must have meant everything to him to leave his humble abode here and then go to Kumasi, go to the team. Usually it's the team going to him. This time around, he went to the team to meet them and talk to them before their departure. And this morning, of course, they left, and lots of very beautiful pictures coming out. And it's one of the things that we've spoken about, you know, when it comes to like fashion, and you're a very big fan of that. You saw the outfits that they left in, and I'm sure we have pictures of that. And, you know, I went and I tweeted that we probably have Ghana probably has won the fashion AFCON already, because I was comparing what the Black Stars wore to what the Senegalese wore to what the Nigerians wore, and I came to the conclusion that we looked much better.
There's simplicity in there, but there's classiness in there.
You've seen the outfit.
I mean, that outfit is blasphemous. Come on,
let's Where's Mubarak? Where are the photos? Okay. We can compare.
We need to look at the photos.
Yeah, we will compare them.
We need VR evidence. That's what we need.
So producer's going to get us those videos and those pictures so that we do the comparison. So according to Stone, they're blasphemous. Well, let's see if his own words become blasphemous eventually. All right. So there it is. Let's talk about the Super Eagles. What is the norm when the team is leaving, especially if they have to leave, convene in Nigeria and depart from there?
Usually they meet with celebrities, they meet with government officials and all this kind of stuff, and then they leave. But the challenge to me is not all of that. To me, it is what we're just doing the same ceremony to go there and still get knocked out. That's the problem. So the problem is not meeting the president. We can meet the president. We'll meet and the president, will meet him, have dinner, whatever you want to do with him. You meet the celebrities, Don Jazzy, and all these guys who come in, and you meet them, and these are football-loving people. But the truth about this is this: it's not about just coming out there and
this is Ghana.
Look at the outfit.
This is Jojo Wallacott.
How is this a blasphemous outfit?
Listen.
Yeah. Mubarak, can you get the Nigeria picture as well?
No, hold on.
Take a look at it.
So this is very unexpected.
So keep it here. Keep it at this picture.
Let's keep it here. What I saw the designer, I don't even know who the designer is. We'll figure that out in a bit. But what I saw the designer do was to beat everybody else to it in terms of the creative process, because we're all expecting pants. We're all expecting probably long sleeve stuff.
And some shiny shoes.
He is, and then he does some very, very simple stuff, and he puts these colored pockets on there, and most of them have the paisley design.
Yes.
And paisley designs in
the
fabric world are very upscale and very classy as well. So this is out, for me. It's the unpredictability that kills me. And then also they are wearing royal native sandals.
Yes.
Okay. These are called ahinima in Ghana.
Okay.
Leather royal native sandals. These are what we wear with our kente cloth and other royal cloth.
Wonderful.
So there it is. So this is the whole idea behind it. Now this is also what constitutes the base for people when they are putting on their cloth. Now when you see people from Ghana put on cloth, and some of them put it on, and they're bare-chested.
And it looks very
nice. There are those who also, depending on their tribe, they use this. They put on this as a first garment, and then they put the cloth on it. Especially our friends from the Volta region. Okay. So that's by way of So
education on the fashion.
I want us to get
one question. Why did they put the dress on top of this? I just want to know.
Why did they put the what?
Why didn't they put? You said this is an undergarment for some people to.
No, it's not an undergarment. It says it can be.
Okay, so why did they put that dress on top of it?
No, what I'm saying
No.
there's a tribe that decides to wear it that way.
Okay.
So for instance, this is like, I'll give you an example. It's like the agbada, 3-piece.
Okay.
So you can put on the overall, and sometimes you can take it off as well and have your kaftan as a full apparel.
So this is the kaftan under the
cloth. Yes. So this is it. So
I love this outfit except the shorts. That's my point.
What's wrong with the shorts?
Well, that's why I'm saying there's unpredictability in there. You see, it gives you this fine feel of the semi-casual look and the it's very...
Somebody said they look like... I saw 2 comments. Someone said, first of all, they look like SS1 students.
That's what they said. That's what they said online. That's exactly what I was going
Nobody
to.
said anything.
I wanted to go there, but I said
another person said they look like prisoners.
Well, I'll take the SS1 bit but SS1
that's just a joke.
SS1 students are in school, aren't they? They're also
yeah.
Only that.
Where's the Nigerian photo?
Yeah, so we'll get the Nigerian photo in a little bit.
Nigerians do not
apart from the oh my God, what is this? Apart from the hats, the rest of them look like native doctors.
Okay. So guys, I'm the man of reason amongst these two gentlemen. Yeah. So I'm gonna do. So what did you just say? They look like native doctors.
What did you say?
I said if it look, the hats are nice.
Okay.
The rest of the outfits look. First of all, they look cheap. The fabric looks cheap. The design looks basic. And in my opinion, that guy in front, he spoiled the picture. Why is he? Yes, what is...
Folding the arm?
Yeah,
that's what spoiled the picture for me.
So you agree with me? I don't know what he's doing. What is he doing?
I agree with the fact that he spoiled the picture.
What is he doing?
The other thing you're saying about the cheap and all this kind of stuff, I don't think so. But the folding of the arm, they're sitting down in front, looking up. I don't know what he's looking at.
All right. Okay, guys. So now let's. Okay, so after the 2 boxers have done it, the ring announcer now would have to speak, right? So guys, let's get the ring announcer to speak now. Okay, so this is it. Now, these hats are, and then when you go to Nigeria, what I know is that these hats are made for royals, especially when you have extra designs like tassels on them, and you do have tassels on them as well. And what the designer, I guess, was trying to do was to have a fine fusion of the national colors of Nigeria. Okay?
Of course.
So that it is present in either accessory. Okay? So over there, he got the green, white, and the green with the tassel on top of it. I think it's a fantastic idea. Yeah. Now, what you also saw the designer do was to do a logo of sorts, which had a lot of like a palm, effect or leaves with the initials of these players or the officials in there in the middle. Okay, so there it is. You see the initials of these players in the middle. Now, so in terms of the color choice, I think the color choice is also fine. For those of you who believe in color science, white is a color that represents victory. Now, green has so many meanings when it comes to color science as well. So I think that the choice of white was also a very good one. As to whether the fabric is cheap or not, that's another thing. But I'll tell you something about photography. Let me tell you something about photography here. Now, these guys should have posed on the tarmac to get, I hope there was one, to have them standing straight with the clothes not having creases and be straight so that we can appreciate the beauty of the clothes. Okay? So this kind of posture obviously is not going to bring out the full beauty. I mean, look at this, primary school boy smile that Victor Osimhen has. Fantastic for me, So, I mean, you could imagine that Victor Osimhen had a bit of a broad-chested posture, where he's looking more outward and he's seated straight. Yeah. I mean, you would have appreciated
It's even hard to tell where he is unless you identify him and say right hand, extreme right of the picture. Okay, extreme right.
Yeah, so
where
for me,
Osimhen is.
And there are some players that are just being like they're like sardines. You're just mashed within each other. You need to look and say, oh, like Lookman, you can't find him. He's behind somebody. You need to look and look.
Very, very well.
Nat, can we look at the Senegalese one, though?
Yeah, we'll look at Senegal in a bit. So I think that on the whole, in terms of representing one's country and all, Nigeria really got it. They got it on point. And you could see, you could see it right there, that this is it, super stuff.
Stone, the
like
guy
this.
in front, is he a footballer?
Which one?
This one, the one without the hat.
Who's that?
The one you said spoiled the picture.
I don't even know who he is. That's my challenge. I don't know. Like, this is the problem. Do you see what I'm saying?
I get your point. He's not even wearing a hat, which means he probably wasn't factored into the whole thing.
Let's just quickly take a look at how Senegal are also turning up at the tournament. There we go. So Senegal are the champions. Now, Aliou Cisse, with all his swag.
I love that man.
Yeah. Now, what Senegal did as well was to have a light fusion of the national colors in the front of the kaftans, okay? And like I said, white represents victory. And so they want to align themselves, and rightly so, they are the champions, the reigning champions of this competition. They couldn't have appeared in any other better color. So there it is, you see them, and you see these little patches of green, yellow, and red in there, representing the national colors of Senegal. So
newly married,
that's the Sadio Mane, the newly married Sadio Mane.
One thing I have to say though, Nat, is the fact that a lot of these teams are identifying an awful lot with their roots. It's one thing that African teams have done really well with over the last few years. Even at the World Cup, you saw the way Ghana represented with the smoke, representing the country's fashion. It's important. Nigeria have always, to be fair, they've always led in that respect. They always pull out, their jerseys are super, their outfits are always really, really nice. And I'm glad that a lot of these African teams are all following suit because, branding is everything. 100%. The way you appear, it's everything. And I have a story, there's an interesting story from 2002 in Mali, 2002, where the Black Stars players were not in any designer outfits. They didn't have track suits. Even jersey numbers were written with markers. And a player, famously, John Pencil, came out to say years later that even their appearance affected their confidence. Mm-hmm. So when they stepped out and they saw that South Africa were in their Adidas outfits and looking really nice, very organized, everybody in tracksuits, and you go out there and you're wearing some shorts, you look inferior. Yeah. So even that alone, he said, affected their confidence. So this is important.
Very well.
You would know you would know more than anybody else that your look, it's directly proportionate with your confidence level.
100%. Very well. And, coming up later on this channel and also on the Joy News channel will be a sit-down conversation with Ghana and Africa legend Sami Osei-Kuffour, who addresses this issue of Mali 2002 and how the Black Stars suffered a confidence dip because of the lack of uniformity of look in camp. Now, the whole idea behind uniformity on the training pitch and all of that also hinges greatly on discipline. And that is another subject for another day. But right now, we'd want to throw the focus on Egypt. Egypt, when it comes to pedigree, are the most achieved side in this competition. And they have something to also show for it. How did they appear? They came in their tracksuits.
Which is the easiest way for most teams to travel. It's less risky. The official apparel manufacturer, Pima, will supply everything you need. No fuss, no buzz, no big deal. They're just here for business. And it says everything as well.
And that reminds me of something Jurgen Klopp said back in the time that, he was asked by one of the journalists why he doesn't come out wearing a suit and all of that, like the Pep Guardiola of the Barcelona days. And he says, look, something, he's so engrossed in the game and what's going to happen in it that he even forgets himself sometimes and is really looking forward to just slipping into something and wearing. This thing is very interesting. Now, so you place that against the big personalities like the Louis van Gaals, the Sir Alex Fergusons, the Arsene Wengers, and the Pep Guardiola of Barcelona days. And there's a certain aura around them when they come out.
Jose initially.
And the likes of Carlo Ancelotti and all of that.
The challenge is that if I'm looking at it from the perspective of Egypt, they've won it the most times. They don't have anything to prove to anyone. They are confident. If you watch the last AFCON, they came out, it seemed like they were weak. during the group stages, and then by the time they came into the...
I have no idea how they got to the final, but they did.
That's what I'm saying. It didn't make any sense, but they know how to play the AFCON. That is in their blood. They know how to defend. They will keep you goalless, and they will score you 1 goal or take the penalties. That's how they play.
There's a reason they're record champions.
Yes, it's 1-0 or 0-0. They play the penalty shootout. They beat you. They have the goal. Don't worry. If you get to the penalties with Egypt, it is a 90% chance you're out. That's how it is. Yeah. So they are confident. They know what they're coming to deliver. They know that this is the AFCON. This is their competition. They are not scared of this. So coming in the tracksuit is like, okay, guys, we're here. Your dads are here.
Yep. And they have one of the best attacking trio in the competition. But people don't say it. But people don't talk about it. But Mohamed Salah, Mahmoud Trezeguet, and Mamouche, who plays for Frankfurt. True. Deadly trio. In fact, if you look at the Egyptian attackers this season, in this AFCON squad that they have named, they've named what? I think 5 or 6 attackers.
They didn't name much.
At most 7. But they've scored more goals than the 9 attackers that Ghana named in this squad. So, which means that they have very, very efficient players. And then you add experience to it because 70% of the Egypt team that went to the final at the last AFCON are still in this team as well. So there's experience all around the pitch. They've got the leadership and the qualities of Mohamed Salah. Osimhen can be the best African player or named the African Footballer of the Year. But the best African footballer is Mohamed Salah.
We know who
there is no doubt about that. So it's a very interesting team, Egypt. A very interesting team to analyze because every time you rule them out, that's when they surprise you. And if you look at even the times when they won the AFCON back-to-back 3 times in a row, there was not a single time, maybe except when they hosted the competition. Even then, they didn't have the best team in terms of players.
Yes.
And yet they went on to win the AFCON. And then when they won in 2010, maybe at the time, probably, even Ghana had no business getting to the final in 2010, a relatively young team. But Egypt, unfancied, and the one that top scored in the competition didn't start a single game.
No, didn't.
Guido in that competition. Then you look at their next win. In fact, the win before that in 2008 here in Ghana. That, in my opinion, is the competition Egypt had no business whatsoever winning. Because there was no reason they should have beaten Cote d'Ivoire, who had DJ Drogba, Solomon Kalou. They had all the players. They beat them.
Yeah.
Cameroon were also unfancied. They got to the final, of course. Rigobert was in the twilight of his career. He was probably like 36, 37 at the time. And Egypt bullied them to the title. The last final, like you said, nobody had an idea how they got to the final, but they got to the final. So that's a team that everybody has to look at.
So clearly, Egypt are the team who will sneak in the back quietly and pop themselves in your face in the final if you don't take care.
That's what they do, because when you look critically at it at this point, they know, first of all, they have the best goalkeepers in Africa when it comes to penalties. So the main thing is, let's play and get 1-0. If we can't get 1-0, let's get to the penalties, and then we're going to win.
And we'll get the job done.
So they have that situation. Then they have the most balanced defense in Africa. Now, you can look at Morocco and all these other guys. You can look at Senegal and all these guys. But when I talk about balance, I'm talking about the fact that Egypt will stay back and defend and will not concede more than 1 goal. You can't say that about many African countries. You can't say that somebody will stay back and not concede more than 1 goal. Sometimes it's 0. And they are still, it's contain and counter. So they contain you, and then they counter you, they get 1 goal, they sit back again. They have Salah there, that Salah can beat 2-3 players and get his goal. So it's a problem. And then their midfield, they are strong. And they know how to play the game of football, if you understand what I mean. There are some players that are masterful in getting fouls. Yeah. If you understand what I mean. Yeah. They are very tactical. They are strong, but they know when to be astute to get the right fouls and play the ball and just get out of trouble. If you watch the last AFCON, you'll be shocked. You'll be like, what's happening? They're being pressed. All of a sudden, they get a foul. And then they're able to relax and, play the ball out and everything. And then Salah gets the ball, he's countering all this kind of stuff. So Egypt is, to me, Morocco is a team that you should fear, 100%. They got their top 4 in the world in the World Cup, wonderful. But Egypt is the team you should be terrified of. You understand what I'm saying? Because the way they will do it, you will go back to your dressing room and be like, how did they beat us? and then you watch the entire thing, and you had 80% possession, you had 12 shots on target, you had 2 million balls into the box, and you still lost 1-0. That's how it is.
The only other team that reminds me slightly of Egypt is Tunisia.
Tunisia?
Very difficult team to beat. Very difficult.
Oh my God.
They accounted for Nigeria's exit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Can you stop that?
Unfortunately, it's part of the fact. If you're just joining us, missed quite a bit, but good that you're joining us here on the Joy Prime channel, which is on 281 on DSTV, and also 421 on DSTV. That's on Joy News. So thanks for staying with us on the show. This is AFCON Today. My name is Nathaniel Atto, and I'm here in the studio with Stone, who's a celebrity football blogger from Nigeria, and Fento Tahiru Fento from Ghana. Well, let's get into the business of the Black Stars of Ghana, who met the president of Ghana last night ahead of today's exit or today's travel to Cote d'Ivoire. Now, there were conversations between the president and the team and the Ghana FA president, Kurt Okriku, as well.
Thank you very much, His Excellency, the President of the Republic, presenting the flag of Ghana to the captain and the President of the Ghana Football Association. So,
tonight, we are gathered here not just as fans, players and officials, but as a family bound by our love for football and our love for our dear country, Ghana. It is my privilege as president of the Ghana Football Association to indeed welcome all of you to this special evening, where our Black Stars will be saying bye-bye to all of us in their attempt to bring that target of envy to our motherland.
Go all out and make us proud. Government, with the active support of the GFA, has made all the arrangements necessary to make this team succeed. To Coach Chris Hutton, his assistants George Watting, Didi Dramani, Richard Kingston, and members of his technical team, I encourage you to be fearless and bold on match day.
All right, so there it is, the interactions between the president of Ghana and the technical team and players of the Black Stars team. Let's now focus on Andre Onana. Now, the Cameroonian #1 goalie is in the center of, some agreement of some sort between the Cameroonian FA, their national team, and Manchester United. Now, what comes out as we prepare ourselves for the AFCON is that he will not be available for the opening game of the AFCON that Cameroon will play against Guinea. Gentlemen, Onana not being a part of this, not the best, isn't it?
Well, Cameroon have solid goalkeepers, aside Onana. Onana missing will be a big blow. Yes, 100%. But if you remember, they have Ondua and they have a goalkeeper that has performed against Brazil and had the highest rated at the World Cup where they beat Brazil 1-0. So obviously, they have goalkeepers that can step in for Onana. But he is a ball-playing goalkeeper extraordinary. He's a kind of goalkeeper that you want in the squad. He's the kind of person that you want to be there for you between the sticks. But we've seen the fact that he was sent away from the World Cup and still Cameroon were still able to perform. So I see the blow that it's going to give to Cameroon a little bit. But then they have competent goalkeepers there that can step in and actually perform in their first match at the AFCON.
I think is listen. I think Gobert Song has his job cut out for him. Sack him.
I like your tone. Say that again.
No, sack him. Just release a statement. Gary, tell him not to show up for the AFCON. This disrespect should not be tolerated. I don't get that you have an understanding. I don't get it. This is the Africa Cup of Nations, okay? The country, in fact, the continent's ultimate competition. It should mean much more to any African footballer than anything else in their entire lives. Okay? It should mean more than playing for Man United against Fulham, for playing for Man United against Tottenham, for playing for Man United against Liverpool. It should mean more. First of all, we heard that he wanted to stay back and play the Spurs game on Sunday, then fly out immediately after the match, 24 hours before their opening game against Guinea on Monday. Okay? I had issues with that because how do you not ever train with the team and then you just think that you can just come in with all the jet lag and expect to be slotted into the starting lineup or expect to even contribute at all to your team's performance? Then now we're picking reports or we're hearing that he's decided altogether that he wouldn't even be available for that game against Guinea, which means that even if he comes, he could only be available for the remaining 2 other games in the group stages. I'm saying that, and Stone might be right, that Cameroon may have capable replacement, but I think that attitude stinks. I don't know what even Man United themselves are thinking, because listen, if I am even any of his teammates, I would be looking at him differently. Because there's not a single one of Onana's teammates at Man United today that would treat their countries the way he's doing. Are you telling me that if the Euros was in January and they named Bruno Fernandes in the Portugal squad, Ronaldo is in camp training, Bruno Fernandes would stay back and say he has a game against Tottenham Hotspur, so he's staying, and then he says, nah, go ahead and play. Even the Monday game, I can't play. You think he would do that? Or can he do that? Because Onana is not the biggest player in Cameroon. He may be playing for the biggest club. But the likes of Vincent Abubakar and all their legends far surpasses anything Onana has ever done in that team. Even his cousin, or Dua.
That's what I'm saying. Ondua is there.
So I'm saying that listen, I don't understand it. So Stone, just like he's saying he wants a sack, you are saying, look, there are good replacements.
I see.
To the extent that Cameroon will not miss.
See, I didn't want to go with I want a sack, but I totally 100% agree with him.
Okay.
This is a goalkeeper that he has been below average for this season. We're not talking about a goalkeeper that is, that he's at this standard. No, we're talking about a goalkeeper that this match is here, the next match is here, the next match is below there. You get what I'm saying? And look at the mistakes at the Champions League and all of that. And many people will say he's the reason why United are out of the Champions League. So Cameroon have capable goalkeepers that can step in. And as he has said also, Vincent Abubakar, to me, he is the best when it comes to attack in Africa at the AFCON. He's the best striker in
He's the
Africa.
new Aristide Bansi.
That's what I'm saying.
He may not play any football, but when he shows up at the AFCON...
When it's the club level, he might not play nothing. At the AFCON, don't worry. He's gonna carry Cameroon on his back and take them to the next dimension. That's Abubakar for you. And that's why I respect him. One of my best players in Africa, Vincent Abubakar. I respect him so much. I love him.
Because, and listen, and to Man United, I don't know their fascination about keeping him. Is he helping you at all? Is he?
Well, No.
Is he really helping Man United?
No.
They should. I'm very surprised that United should be the.
Maybe Ten Hag has something up.
United should honestly. Well, United should be the first to say, "Oh, you've been named in the AFCON squad. Oh, thank you very much.
Let's go get someone else that can."
Off you go.
All right, let's now get into the conversation about the Gambia. The Gambia find themselves at a very, very, tough place, or in a very big crossroad, a place of confusion, because the players are demanding what is due them when it comes to qualification bonuses. Now, the risk is that they are not training, they have refused to train, and they will not emplane to Côte d'Ivoire. That also is a very big deal. But there are sanctions when teams pull out of the tournament abruptly like this.
Yeah, of course, you could be facing several months of ban. And but let's just chronicle what exactly happened yesterday. And look, you're looking at pictures. Now, Gambia qualified for this is only their second AFCON. The first time they qualified, Tom Sayofe led them to the last AFCON in Cameroon. Now, in the whole qualifying series, Gambia did not play a single game at home because they don't have a stadium that is good enough to host CAF licensed matches. So they played all their matches away from home. They have been camping for the past 5 days in the UAE. And Saudi Arabia. That's where they had been camping the past 5 days. Okay, so they flew in on Monday evening. Then they went and they sorted out all their diplomatic passports in readiness for the travel, and they were supposed to leave today, Wednesday. Yesterday, they held an open practice session at the stadium, the national stadium in Banjul. And the idea for that was for the fans to come and bid them farewell, goodbye. Because remember, they haven't seen them play in the qualifier because they were playing their home games away from home. Sure. So the idea was, let's give our fans one opportunity to see our team train before we leave for the AFCON. Now, everybody is there. You see the fans in the stadium. They come in, the coach is there, the officials are there, they come with balls, cones, everything. The players refused to come out of the tunnel. They actually went to the stadium, but they refused to go out onto the pitch to train. And, it created chaos, because we have to point out that the fans who had come to watch them train started to get very agitated because they kept waiting and waiting and waiting, and the players weren't coming out, and started to throw missiles onto the pitch. And it created massive chaos and disturbances in the stands, resulting in the police actually clashing with some of the fans. And that could have been deadly in itself. And the whole reason is the players say during the qualification period for the AFCON, this very AFCON, they were promised that if they booked their spot at the AFCON, they would be paid qualification bonus of $15,000 each. Okay. The monies were not paid. They had been camping. They wanted the money during the camp. The money wasn't coming. And they came back home. The money still wasn't paid. So then the strike. But right after that, they have a whole committee set up to oversee the country's participation at the AFCON. The committee chairman met, of course, with the FA president and to try and resolve the issue. They couldn't. It got a phone call from the president, Mr. Balu, to order the finance minister to release the money and make sure that this is all sorted out. And even before that training session, they had met the vice president, and he also gave them a battle flag. The Gambian flag, go and defend this flag. So what we understand right now is that the money would be paid or has been paid, and the players will leave for Côte d'Ivoire later today. We spoke to a Gambian journalist. Hopefully, he has the best update for us regarding the whole situation. But certainly not. This is a less than ideal way to prepare for an AFCON. It's not like it's the first time.
To start it all off as well. Now, you talk about the fact that it's not a first time. And Stone, I want you to remind us, I remember in the last couple of years, at least in the last decade, you've had situations with the likes of Cameroon, Ghana at the FIFA World Cup in 2014.
Gabon at the last AFCON.
The history in Africa with this kind of situation, it's appalling. And it's an embarrassment at this point. Because how many times will we keep coming back to this? It's always a money problem. It's a money issue. If it's not Gambia today, it's Nigeria tomorrow, it's this tomorrow, next tomorrow. I mean, when will we be able to solve this problem of money? And it's not a large sum that we're talking about here. Now, look, if you look at this Gambian team, they got to the knockout phases last AFCON.
The first time ever.
They got to the knockout. They got knocked out by Cameroon, and Cameroon have the experience. They had the pedigree to knock them out. We're talking about Abubakar and all these guys. But we're looking at a Gambia that were able to hold their own at the AFCON. They don't concede so many goals. They don't. And they were able to defend. Their defense is great. Their goalkeeper is great, and all this kind of stuff like that. Very good in the air in terms of claiming aerial balls and one-on-one situations. But at the end of the day, what we have here is a situation whereby what we keep talking about money.
See, the money is there, but
the money is there. They don't pay the money, and now they have to go to the AFCON, and now they are going in the afternoon.
Because even Nigeria, they were owing them lots of money. The president just ordered, President Ahmed Tinubu ordered for every area to be paid.
That's
what the team left.
So this is a very unfortunate situation. And like Stone has said, this is something Africa needs to move beyond because the world is moving at a very fast pace. We'll be bringing you some tidbits as well. We'll be doing some facts and figures with Karim very shortly.
What really happened at the Independence Stadium in Bakau was a section of the Gambian fans were there because they haven't watched their national team play in action for over 2 years. Due to the COVID, the last round of qualifiers for the AFCON in Cameroon, when the Gambia played against Angola and won 1-0 at the Independence Stadium, the fans couldn't attend the game because of COVID restrictions. That was in 2021. So because of that, fans were eager. They want to see the national team play because the stadium was recently banned to host international matches because it is not fit for purpose. So the expectation was dashed. The players in the last minute, when people were seated already waiting for the players. The coach came in with his backroom staff, but the players failed to turn up. So the information we gathered was it's because of unpaid bonuses. They were promised a bonus of, several millions in Gambian currency in dollars. It's close to $40 million. That will be almost around.
Mamadou Galaja is a journalist from the Gambia, and he was bringing us up to speed on the situation. So let's just wish them well. It'll be good to have them in the group, and it'll be good to have a full group so that we have maximum competition, to determine who gets out of the group. Well, let's now do some tidbits as we always bring you here on AFCON Today. Of course, immediately after that as well, we will be having the man Karim to bring us some stuff there. So DR Congo's AFCON squad came together to take a team photo with the jerseys of their respective clubs ahead of the tournament. That's a great innovation there, and of course a big sense of pride for each of these teams, especially those at home. On the domestic scene.
I think also it's a reminder to their clubs that, we are at the AFCON, but we are still representing.
Very well, very well.
I guess it's a good creative.
And of course, this is the matter we've been discussing, over the past few minutes that, the players had to, stay away from training, and that sure would be a very big disappointment to these fans who turned up to give them the massive support. So all of these are in terms of updates. We're going to be updating you as we go along here on the show. Of course, the Black Stars are there in Côte d'Ivoire as we speak. And this was a photo that they took just ahead of departure from Ghana. And of course, we're going to be bringing you an update photo as well of the Black Stars team in their full, regalia, their full attire. And then I would come back to Stone to do the analysis again.
I'll do that.
Let's also just quickly look at this one where defending champions Senegal have touched down in Ivory Coast. And of course, we brought you a video of that, but that's a memorable photo with the president of Senegal, His Excellency Macky Sall. All right, so time to get down to the tidbits. And of course, the man Karim is coming over to bring us up to speed on some of the statistics that we normally hardly would not focus on. Karim, how you doing? Good to see you.
Yeah,
everything
good
okay?
to be here again.
Great stuff there. You take it over, Karim.
I'm coming to do some AFCON Lotto calculations.
I see.
Okay. Well, the supercomputer Opta used in doing to see who has the highest probability of winning the AFCON, and the Black Stars, their performances are dipping, and the Opta is seeing that too. They are falling off the chart too of winning the AFCON. Like they've done, Senegal, they've given them the highest percentage of winning the competition, defending their title. They want to do it for the first time after Egypt doing it back-to-back for 3 times in 2010. Then in Egypt, if you look at Senegal, if you look at their chances of defending the title, it's really huge. Looking at the squad, they have Sadio Mane. They have lost 3 players. Not lost, they have moved on. They've moved on from main Europe to the Saudi League by Kalidou Koulibaly, Sadio Mane, Mendy was a Champions League winner ahead of the 2021 AFCON. Sadio Mane was playing for Liverpool, and Kalidou Koulibaly was playing for Napoli. These 3 players were key for them in winning the AFCON in 2021. And they are not playing in main Europe again, but still, the Opta has seen it twice that still they have the chances of defending their title. If you are looking at it, they've lost a very key striker in Napoli, Salernitana's Boulaye Dia. If you are looking at his numbers from last season to this season for Salernitana, he has 20 Serie A goals from an expected goal of 12.4. He's overachieving. Yes, he's overachieving. So, and they've lost him to injury. Like, I think if the Opta had seen that before putting out these predictions, that 12.1%, 12.8% they've given them to win the AFCON, they would have brought it down. They still have very good chances of winning it. Nicholas Jackson of Chelsea, he can step in for Boulaye Dia. Then
I missed the chances.
Yes.
We
have, interestingly, Nicholas Jackson actually, in terms of chances getting like XG, his XG is actually quite high. So he has the propensity to get into very good goal scoring positions.
Yes.
His problem is converting.
He will miss them. So
that's his biggest problem.
Another.
I see Cote d'Ivoire are
Cote d'Ivoire have come up, and I remember having a conversation with some legends, and Cote d'Ivoire have come up very strongly.
Yes, since 2015, after beating Ghana on penalties to win the title, they have not gone past the quarterfinals. And
that's poor.
Yes, and the supercomputer, I think, this is mainly influenced by their home advantage because.
But on what grounds, though? Because also since 2006, no home team has won the AFCON.
Yes.
So, really, they do have a fearsome trio, attacking trio.
We have
Sebastian Hele, Mas Gradel, Jeremy Boga.
No Zaha.
Yes, they have so many attackers in the sense that they could afford to drop Wilfred Zaha. Then
No. That's blasphemy.
I don't think they dropped him because he wasn't good enough.
Come on.
Then I expected Morocco to be on top of this chart, but they are not. The Opta analyst supercomputer has seen it, that the fantastic run they've had at the World Cup.
You can catch Joy News on 421 on DSTV, and for Joy Prime is 281 on DSTV as well. It's been wonderful sharing your company over the last hour. More to discuss when we come back tomorrow with another AFCON Today show. My name is Nathaniel Atto, and I have love for sport.